Welcome to Part 11 of our video series on the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. We'll look at Section 1692I, which is legal actions by debt collectors. And considering the hundreds and hundreds of lawsuits that are filed, for example, in Alabama, just by individual debt buyers, this section applies to a lot of people. And so the first part is venue, which all venue means is where can you bring the lawsuit against the consumer. And so it starts off to make it clear they're talking about any collection lawsuit. So any debt collector who brings any legal action on a debt against any consumer, and then they break it into two parts. The first part, you could think of this as a judicial foreclosure like we would have in Florida, where they have to bring a lawsuit against you to get a judge to approve the foreclosure. Now, this is different than in Alabama. Alabama is a non-judicial foreclosure, so there is no court involved unless you bring the court into it. So subsection 1 says, in the case of an action to enforce an interest in real property securing the consumer's obligation or the debt, bring such action only in a judicial district or similar legal entity in which such real property is located. Now, for a lot of states, the judicial district is the county, but a state could do it differently. Or, for example, in Alabama, we have multiple counties where inside each county there are two different divisions, so to speak. So it's just saying wherever you're supposed to bring this lawsuit, bring it, and you know where to bring it because that's where the property is sitting. So if you're in, for example, in Jefferson County, Alabama, which is Birmingham, we have a Birmingham division and a Bessemer division. So if the property is sitting in Bessemer, then bring it in Bessemer. If it's sitting in the Birmingham division, bring it in Birmingham. But the one that we see more commonly used is subsection 2. In the case of an action not described in paragraph 1, so in other words, anything other than bringing an action to enforce interest in real property. So this subsection 2 would involve credit cards, vehicle loans, student loans, just anything other than basically a judicial foreclosure. Then the debt collectors to bring such action only in the judicial district or similar legal entity. In other words, whatever your state calls it. And then it breaks it down into two further subparts. Part A, in which such consumers sign the contract sued upon, or B, where the consumer resides at the commencement of the action. So this first part is saying, look, wherever you sign the contract, you can be sued there, which makes sense. If you sign a contract in Shelby County, Alabama, well, then it's no surprise to be sued in Shelby County, Alabama. Now, when this was written, really, we did sign all contracts. Now, there's a lot of times where you don't sign a contract, but typically the courts say it's where the contract was created. So if I live in Madison County, Alabama, and I take out a credit card, I may not literally sign for that, but that's where they send me the credit card where I accept it, and so that would be the case here. And then B is just saying wherever I live at the time. So let's say I take out a debt in Madison County, Alabama, but then when they sue me, I'm living in Mobile, Alabama, Mobile County. Well, they can sue me in Madison County because that's where I took it out, or in Mobile County because that's where I live at the time. So what they couldn't do is sue me in Montgomery County or Jefferson County or Shelby County, because it's got to be one of two places, where I sign the contract or where I live when they sue me. And we see this violated a pretty good amount, where collectors get kind of sloppy, or else they just say, you know what, I don't want to drive all the way to Madison County. Let's say that the debt collector lives in Mobile County. Well, that's a 5+ hour drive from Mobile to Huntsville, which is Madison County. So they might say, well, we'll just bring everything down here in Mobile. Well, that's a violation of the law. You can sue them for that. And so this section A, this venue, is very important. You always want to check that. Say, all right, if it's on anything other than real property, did they sue me where I live or where I took out the contract? If not, then that's a problem for the debt collector. And then the final part of this section is just saying, look, nothing in this subchapter subchapter shall be construed to authorize the bringing of legal actions by debt collectors. In other words, a debt collector cannot say, well, I brought the lawsuit because the FDCPA tells me I can sue. No, they're just saying if you sue, if you have the right to sue, make sure you file it in the correct venue. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll look at the next section tomorrow, and hope this is helpful, and appreciate you guys following through on this series, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.